Brilliant. Neil, thank you so much. Just wonder, Peter, how many weather apps do you have on your phone? Are you a bit obsessed?
Not at all, no. I have a man at the top of the tower who runs the show. I leave that to Gary, who does a better job than I ever could, and we just do our bit when we need to in terms of scrutineering. But you're quite right, planning the weather is the real unknown for the event, and this fortnight's really shown how unpredictable it can be.
Also joined on the show by Ernie Washer, who, of course, a winner here way back, and also our guest, Frank Whiteway. Got to ask you two gentlemen, it's a race day here on the Isle of Man. You as ex-racers, are you kind of feeling a little bit jangly, a little bit? Yes, both of you. How are you feeling, Frank?
Well, it's a beautiful day, the weather's fine, and I remember all that awful weather I had to suffer way back, and so these guys, they've got it good. I'm happy with that. Yeah,
and Ernie, are you the same? You feeling, I wish?
Yes, yeah, sort of would be nice to sort of ride the old bike round the track again, but, there's a time when you've got to hang up your leathers, and that's what I've done.
Give them to the museum.
Give them to the museum. What about, obviously, the modern riders in the TT? Let's just look at that. People like John McGuinness, what John's been through to get his leg back again. People like Bruce Anstey and Conor Cummington in the sidecars. John Holden. People like, he's from around your area. John Holden, isn't he? I think he's Cumbria sort of area.
He is, yes.
He's from Cumbria sort of area.
Yeah.
What about those sort of guys? I mean, how do you see those guys compared to, people like Duke and McIntyre and Halewood and Agostini and people like that? I mean, I know it's different times, but I mean, the guys, they're just absolutely superstars, aren't they? For
they're
what
indeed,
the speeds.
And John only lives really across the bay from where we live. He lives in Morecambe, and I see him frequently. So, and I'm just in total admiration of what he does. And that race on Saturday, what day was it?
Saturday.
That's right. Yeah. We were at Crunknamona, and he was absolutely magnificent through there. Smooth, line, perfection.
And what about when he went out on the Halewood bike? How did you feel seeing that 40 years on?
God, that's incredible. But I like doing things like that myself, I'll go out on old bikes and give them a bit of a tweak. So
I believe it was 40 years since Halewood, and obviously it's 40 years for the newcomers Manx Grand Prix. Lots of pictures already of previous winners and previous participants. There was no newcomers races back then when you were riding. You just there you go, off you go. No orange bib like they used to have to write. One number I, number 93, you're number 68.
That's right.
Off you go. Morning practice in the rain, in the dark.
I love morning practice.
Yes, I did too. Love it. Yeah.
So you're going down Bray Hill at about 4:45 in the morning.
Wakey! That's all the people.
And then through Kirkmichael, of course, especially with the two strokes, where they really jangled your ears. So, I love them. I like to hear a two stroke. So.
Yeah, you do. You can't beat a good two-stroke, and having a classic TT lightweight race was great. And there's a couple, obviously, in the lightweight and the ultra lightweight races as well now. But those morning practices were something just a little bit special. Did you enjoy the morning practices, Ernie?
Oh yes, it's very nice. But I used to think, I it was in Douglas, 9 York Road, Mrs. Brew, and if the foghorn was going, I'd just turn over and lay there, because I felt if you go out, because in those days, we rode in the wet, fog, everything, and I felt, well, if I went out, you sort of get your bike all dirty, you've got to check it all over, if it's fog, you might run into somebody might run into you, so you really don't learn anything. So I used to think, right, leave the bike in the garage, stay in bed, get up and get out on the course. That's the secret, I think, round here, because in our day, you never had videos to watch at. There was probably 3 or 4 major pictures, Craignabar, Ramsey, and so on. Yeah. But nowadays, you've got videos and you can actually learn the circuit. Like there's people now, I met a chap a couple of years ago on the boat going home, and he was a newcomer, and he'd lapped at over 100 mile an hour. Yeah. But I was chatting to him. I said, well, that's very good. That's far faster than I've ever went. But I said, just personal word of advice. If you come over here, you're obviously riding very well. Get out on the course, learn it, and with these very fast bikes, if you can try and we had to carry momentum, because we had 42 brake horsepower, which was a bit pathetic. We had drum brakes, which the brake used to come up to the handlebar at the Craig, But I said, well, if you sort of go out on the course, learn it thoroughly, as we did. That's not saying he hadn't learned it, but you can improve a lot more. So I said, get out on the course, you will go a lot quicker.
Yeah, laps and laps. That's kind of one thing that the newcomers get told now by the rider liaison officers that take them round and stuff. And Chris Palmer, who does a practice commentary with me himself, he's Cumbria man as well. Carlisle, he's from, actually, sorry to beg your pardon. Sorry, Chris, if you're listening. And he says, you just get in the car and just go round and round and round and round. You'll get sick of doing it, but little things will stick in your mind. I didn't see that little hedge post there. That's a braking marker.
That's right.
Just little things in your mind. And don't do it on a road bike. He's always said to me, to the guys, don't do it on a road bike because you won't learn, because you've got to use both sides of the road when you're on a bike. He says, go around in a car with somebody who knows what they're doing, they'll give you the points.
That's
and
right.
then you get to the speed. There's loads more stuff.
Loads more messages. We've just got a few minutes left, so if you want to text 166 177, start your message with TT, or email studio@radiott.com. We are on the Manx Radio TT Facebook and Twitter pages as well. Just want to say a very big happy 70th birthday to Bill Butler. He is marshalling at Keppelgate, and that is lots of love from all the family this morning. But people watching us on Facebook Live, just all wishing everybody the best of luck today. Just really can't wait for an exciting day of racing.
So many messages coming in on this. It's absolutely incredible. We thank you for everybody who's took time in every show that we've had here at the TT Grandstand for giving us the information. Don't forget as well today, Peter, if you are wanting to listen to the races, you've got Manx Radio you can have on, but you've also got a crack team out there with the cameras. You've got Nick Jeffries, I think, involved. Chris McGarn is involved. Ned Bowers, young fellas. Sam Bowers involved. They've got the streaming the races live over at the Manx Grand Prix Iowa MGP, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, we started last year with a trial which went unbelievably well. I think far better than Ned could ever have imagined. So we've expanded the coverage this year, and he's got a good team. As you say, we've had Nick and Chris involved in doing commentary. We've got an editing vehicle here in the paddock that can cut from location to location. And I found it very interesting that the little snippets I've been able to see on Facebook, they've got cameras in places that the public are now not allowed into. So it gives the people a chance to see from a different perspective.
Remote cameras, aren't they?
Remote
like the one
cameras,
on the grandstand here.
There's one at Greba Bridge,
Yeah,
which I think is fabulous because it's in an area that people are not allowed into. So spectators can have a quick look and see what's happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
It is good, and obviously going to try and extend that coverage as the years go on, hopefully.
We are. We're having discussion about live streaming from a machine.
Oh, wow.
But that brings other issues to deal with.
Does,
yes.
Yeah, because there could be signal loss and stuff around the circuit.
There's all sorts of technical issues that we need to think about.
Be interesting that, have to get that going. I know they tried to do it with the TT many moons ago. Sky Sports said that unfortunately the guy carrying a camera crashed at Union Mills at the pub there by the railway.
That is one of the big risks.
Yeah, that was the issue that they had, and I think the delay was phenomenal. I mean, you could do it. I mean, you'd have to have a helicopter above with a microwave link sending back, but now we're getting technical. We're not going to get into that.
We have other ways of dealing with that.
We always have ways of dealing with it. Last couple of messages, just Beth, we'll have a little bit of a final chat with the gentleman before they have to get off for quite a busy day.
Yep, it's just, John Holden's from Lancashire.
Oh, is he?
Happy birthday to Barry Wood. Best of luck, everyone, today. Hi from the sunny Algarve. And yeah, just lots of people just getting in touch to say that they wish everybody the best of luck today. Have a great day's racing and just enjoy it.
Just run through that schedule very quickly again, and then we'll speak to the guys for
well,
the
roads
final time.
around the TT course are scheduled to close at 9:30. We've got the Manx Grand Prix Supporters Club Lightweight MGP Race 2 over 4 laps and Ultra Lightweight MGP Race 2 over 3 laps. Peter, how do you follow a 3 and 4 lap race?
It's been a big discussion during the last 12 months. If the spectators are careful with their eyes, they will realise that the lightweights are running on orange plates with black numbers, and the ultra lightweights have got orange plates with white numbers.
Easy.
And there's obviously a differential start, so the lightweights will go off first, then there'll be an interval before the ultra lightweights. The challenge is for separating them out as they cross the line for those that are carrying on for a 4th lap and those that have completed 3, or vice versa. But this is not an unusual challenge for us.
No.
There are often races where guys that are unfortunately running at the back get flagged off before the end of their race distance. So we have some experience of segregating them. It's just in this case it's a conscious segregation.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in this morning. Mr. Washchef, thank you very much for coming in and sitting in the studio. And well, it's quite nice in here, isn't it? It's nice and nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. We give you some water. What more do you want? And are you going to watch? Where are you going to watch the racing today? Ernie? Ernie, first off, sorry.
We haven't decided, I don't think yet. Well, we've got. Unfortunately, I can't go to the presentation tonight because I'm flying out at 6 o'clock. So we've got
that's a
everything
shame.
in the car ready to go. So it's got to be somewhere sort of locally here.
Grandstand.
Because also I've got to start the senior race, and I think present the laurels and that. So luckily the weather's nice, so we have got about an hour spare. So it's got to be, as I say, we can't go the
Local.
other side of the island.
No,
otherwise
no,
I
don't
won't
do
get
that.
home.
You won't. And also our guest of honour, Frank Whiteway. Thanks very much for coming in. And
You're
your
welcome.
duties today are?
I've got to be able to grandstand and do one or two things like I've been doing all week, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's brilliant. The most important, or the most enjoyable part has been the lap in the car.
Yes.
I bet.
And I really enjoyed that.
I bet you it was. And also Chairman of the Manx Motorcycle Club, Peter Maddox. Peter, thank you very much for coming in this morning as well. Anything you'd
fine.
like to add before you have to go?
A few little things, if I may, Chris.
yeah.
I think there are quite a few new visitors here. I don't think numbers are brilliant, but I think there are quite a few new visitors. I'd ask them to go home and spread the word. I think there's been a few eye-openers for people about the quality of the racing. The races we've had this week so far have been won in all but one case by less than 25 seconds. We've only had one at a minute, and the others have all been less than 25 seconds. So take away the message, the racing here is absolutely fabulous.
Okay, Pete.
Presentation at the Villa tonight, so anybody's welcome. Come down and see the riders get the rewards for their achievements.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Okay, Peter, thank you very much. Also, Mr. Washer, thank you. And Mr. Whiteway. See you all being very posh. And Mrs. I'm going to say
just
Davies. Beth,
say what, Beth.
Elizabeth, thank you very much for being here.
Thank
and obviously,
you.
Christy was here, TT, and now it's turning into Women Today Part 2.
Well, yes,
I know who's
we're
going to be
taking over.
next. I know you. No, you're not. And yes, you are. Very well. Thank you very, very much. Thanks to Ed, our studio engineer, who's been here sat just relaxing, nice and easy. Thanks to Alex, who's been controlling all the twiddly bits. Thanks to Chris back at base, and also thanks to Ben, who's currently on production up there as well. We'll be back on air with the full commentary team at 9:30. And from me, Chris Kelly, and from Beth, we'll hand you back to the Manx Radio studios with the news and John Moss.